Hello and welcome back. It's been a while. I'm Camilla, otherwise known as the Queen of Constantia, and welcome to my secret throne room. This week I'm going to be reviewing Durban episode 8, and it's a bit of a catch-up. I'm going to get on to Durban episode 9 very shortly. In the meantime, Sabona, Dumela, Molweni, Goeienaand, hello, cheers, and all those good things. I approached this episode with some trepidation, and it starts with dramatic music. That's what it says in the line underneath. I want to thank, by the way, my beautiful dress, which you can't really see, my wonderful couturier who I'm working with, Rose Maltino. I'm going to put a little picture up here. Hello and welcome back. It's been a while. I'm Camilla, otherwise known as the Queen of Constantia, and welcome to my secret throne room. This week I'm going to be reviewing Durban episode 8, and it's a bit of a catch-up. I'm going to get on to Durban episode 9 very shortly. In the meantime, Sabona, Dumela, Molweni, Goeienaand, hello, cheers, and all those good things. I approached this episode with some trepidation, and it starts with dramatic music. That's what it says in the line underneath. I want to thank, by the way, my beautiful dress, which you can't really see, my wonderful couturier who I'm working with, Rose Maltino. I'm going to put a little picture up here. Hello and welcome back. It's been a while. I'm Camilla, otherwise known as the Queen of Constantia, and welcome to my secret throne room. This week I'm going to be reviewing Durban episode 8, and it's a bit of a catch-up. I'm going to get on to Durban episode 9 very shortly. In the meantime, Sabona, Dumela, Molweni, Goeienaand, hello, cheers, and all those good things. I approached this episode with some trepidation, and it starts with dramatic music. That's what it says in the line underneath. I want to thank, by the way, my beautiful dress, which you can't really see, my wonderful couturier who I'm working with, Rose Maltino. I'm going to put a little picture up here. That's my lovely dress made by Rose. Thank you, Rose. I'm working with Rose on my clothing now. She's wonderful. And you can contact her. I'll put her link in the commentary box below. And yeah, so I want to thank her for my lovely dresses that she's making me. So yes, okay, so back to Durban episode 8. Dramatic music starts, and I'm approaching this episode with trepidation. In fact, I have to say that I put off watching it. I wasn't looking forward to watching this. And not after the end of last week's episode. No sooner has it started than Jojo starts discussing. We've had the battle of the prayers, you know, whose prayers are going to work most for peace on this trip. Well, it certainly isn't working. And the factions are making themselves clear, as I've said. You know, you've got the Sarisha faction with the most people on it. And Jojo suddenly starts talking about the fact that she said she's not coming from, she says, I'm not using her exact phraseology here, but she's not coming from an argumentative or a bad space, but she wants to bring up the fact that she is hurt by the repetitive comments that are being made about her drinking. And before I say anything else, I just want to refer to the fact for those who have not watched any of my reviews before, that I refer to my notes in my little Real Housewives notebook. So if I do look down, please forgive me. I don't want to forget things, so I might refer to my notes from time to time. So she says that she is feeling hurt because Annie came into her room, and the first thing that Annie said was, "Have you been drinking?" or "Are you drinking?" And that she immediately felt defensive because on previous episodes of this series, the ladies have been saying to her, "Have you taken up drinking, and is this because of Nonku's bad influence. Now, there seemed to be the Sarisha faction, or what Sarisha later calls the tribe, and I find this very interesting because Sarisha's now actually given it a name. They seem to be setting up Nonku and telling Nonku that Jojo is a bad influence, and just setting up Jojo and telling Jojo that Nonku is a bad influence. Jojo, Nonku's making you drink. So Annie comes in. Have you been drinking? Are you drinking alone? No. And she immediately gets over defensive. Now, Jojo, if I was you, I would not have reacted. I just would have let it wash over me. But Jojo doesn't. She brings it up at the table, and then Annie immediately gaslights her and goes, no, it was nothing. I'm not buying that. I think Annie did it on purpose. Have you been drinking? Are you drinking alone? When she saw that bottle there, I think it was an opportunity for Annie to poke at Jojo, which she took. And I think her going, no, it was done in all innocence. I didn't mean a thing by it. I'm not buying that. I think that's a gaslighting response. And then Annie asks Sarisha about what happened. Annie says you're reading too much into it. Basically, you're overreacting. And Jojo goes, no, I'm hurt. I don't feel, I'm hurt. Please read my feelings. Acknowledge I'm hurt. And Annie's having none of it and saying Jojo is being defensive. The producers then are kind enough to show us the actual clip of Annie walking into the room and what actually happens. And then Jojo asked Sarisha about when Sarisha commented about her drinking, and Sarisha says it was done in fun. This was at Sarisha's function where Sarisha says, again, they show the clip. Sarisha very sternly asks, so, did you drink at my function? And Jojo said, yeah, I had a vodka or something, but it was a very, very stern, loaded question again. And as I said, we get to see the clip. Then Ruan says that Jojo can't drink. I don't think he means that she can't drink. I think he means that she can drink very little because she suffers from stomach ulcers, as do I. I mean, I don't drink at all, but even this stuff has quite a lot of acid content in it, despite the fact that it doesn't have any alcohol in it. But I drink it and I like it. So we can drink a little bit, us stomach ulcer ladies, and ulcers are horrible. There we go. Have a sip. So yeah, alcohol doesn't work in her system too much. Then Annie turns around and goes, Ruan is lying for Jojo. Okay, at this point, things are really already getting out of hand. I'm already not enjoying. And this is something that's beginning to happen to me now in this season of Durban, is that I'm finding that I'm not actually, I don't know how the rest of South Africa feels. This is just how I'm finding it. Is that I'm not actually finding it entertaining. I'm finding it quite distressing. I'm not finding it fun. I'm finding it quite cringy, quite distressing, quite disturbing what's going on. So Jojo now is starting to overreact. She says that Sarisha and Annie hate her for some reason. Now, the thing is, as I've been pointing out for all of my previous reviews, it's not some reason. This is about the alliance. And what I believe Sarisha came into this season intending to do, which is essentially bring down Nonku. And if Jojo goes down with Nonku, then that is collateral damage. Now, I don't know why. Sarisha has now come in as the queen bee, but villain on this season. And all that sweetness and light that we've always had from her has disappeared. She's forged alliances from word go, right from the very beginning, affiliating herself with Sihles, bringing Maria on board, and now even building bridges with Sihles, as we shall see. And so now we've really got Jojo and Nonku completely isolated. The ladies got up from the pool and walked away when Nonku arrived last week. So we've got them isolated from the others, and there's now, excuse me, from my point of view, full attack mission going on. So Sarisha and Annie hate me for some reason. I don't think it's for some reason. I think it's intentional. I think you are it's divide and conquer, and I think it's about Nonku. I think it's about bringing Nonku down so that Nonku is not fan favorite, which she has been consistently. Whether she's been naughty or the villain or whatever she's been, she has always been consistently fan favorite. And I think that is where Sarisha wants to be. So this is my opinion. So see, in her confessional, Sarisha says, I don't hate Jojo. I think there's something wrong with her. And Nonku says, these ladies, they honestly dislike Jojo. Now, is there something wrong with Jojo? I think Jojo has a hot temper. I think that she unfortunately allows the ladies to poke her and is not able to contain her responses to that, her emotional responses. But I certainly don't think that there's anything wrong with her. No. I think she's actually a very kind-hearted and sweet person. But she wears her heart on her sleeve, and she can be very fiery and overreactive. And unfortunately, as I said, can't contain her responses. But, however, in this moment, when Annie won't listen to her, and when Annie says that Ruan is a liar about Jojo's stomach problems, we see Jojo blow. She explodes. And we've seen her do it before. Sadly, we saw her do the same thing at Sun City. This time, of course, her best friend is sitting next to her. The water flies into Nonku's eyes. Nonku, my darling, I'm so glad for you that it wasn't wine, because as you know, on my series, I got wine in my eyes. That is a very unpleasant experience. Anyway, luckily it was only water, and it's your friend. So I know you'll know it's just water. I mean, we've all had water in our eyes in the shower. It's not a disaster. But Jojo blew her top, and that's a shame. It is a shame that she's not able to control her emotions when she feels that she's not being heard. It's a shame, but it's her, and we know her, and we understand her, or we should understand her by now. I'm not sure that we should judge or hate her for it. But she does. She blows. It's a shame. Okay. I've said here, she has a fiery and short temper. I think she's not feeling heard. She's trying to explain that she feels hurt. I've put here, her outburst was over the top, and I do believe that, and uncalled for. Of that, there is no doubt. I also wrote, she did not mean to hurt Nonku, and I think everybody can understand that. Maria says she loves Jojo. I don't believe that. As Jojo leaves with Calvin and calls her my baby girl, but is completely different, very cold towards Jojo in her confessionals. So Maria, I see as being incredibly two-faced. I don't believe Maria loves Jojo at all. I think Maria is 100% Team Sarisha, and she's just playing Jojo while she's sending Jojo off with Calvin, just to keep Jojo on side for now, because she doesn't want to let Jojo know that she's actually Team Sarisha. She's just keeping her options open for now. This is the way that I see the cookie crumbling. Yeah, so I've said this before. I do not think that she's a true friend of Jojo or Ruan. And as I understand it, she and Ruan have been good friends for 6 years. So let's see. So Nonku at the spa. And I say again here, Sarisha is trying to divide and conquer Nonku and Jojo. Sarisha says that Nonku and Jojo's love is disproportionate. Goodness gracious me. So, are the Sarisha Alliance now trying to absorb Nonku? This is the question. So, this is where Sarisha is talking to Nonku and saying, you know, she hurt you, and you know, she's got all she's influencing you, and you must be careful about your relationship and everything. So what is she trying to do, Sarisha? Is she now trying to totally alienate Jojo and get Nonku into her corner and divide and conquer, and then make Nonku weaker? Because if Nonku doesn't have Jojo by her side, she will be weaker. That's what I think. Or is she just trying to leave her friendless, you see, and more open to attack? Because if Nonku doesn't have Jojo, she's weaker and more open to attack. This is what I wonder. Absorb Nonku into the alliance, leaving Jojo totally out in the cold, and therefore just get rid of Jojo altogether because they all can't stand her? Is that maybe what it is? I don't think so. I think they're trying to make Nonku get rid of Jojo so that she's friendless, and then they can really attack Nonku. That's what I think. So then we see Annie and Slee on a hike. Beautiful scenery. That waterfall is magnificent. Slee and Annie discover that they have the possibility of a friendship. Oh, what a great big surprise. It's easy to see why. Because they can mutually reinforce one another in their righteousness. Righteousness is a wonderful thing. I've said that before. Their righteousness over their opinion of Jojo. Yes, they can both hate her equally. It's a fabulous friendship made, I'm not going to say it's made in heaven because that's definitely not what it is, but it's forged in righteousness, and it's just perfect, isn't it? There is nothing nicer than having a friend who always tells you that you're right. So they will be perfect together. And I'm so happy that they found one another in this beautiful waterfall. And then we have Sundowners and traditional dancing. And of course, Jojo has left. The traditional dancing was lovely. I enjoyed that very much. And Sane says that the performers are singing to evil-spirited individuals. Well, that's rather funny. I would have thought she was referring to herself. Mind you, she has been a little bit quiet over the last while. So, yeah, maybe she's sort of pushing some of her evil vibes out into the other ladies because they are behaving rather badly. They're giving me Sane vibes themselves. In fact, they're all being pretty ugly at the moment, which is why I'm not enjoying myself watching this. I'm feeling slightly queasy watching all of this unfold because, you know, Housewives is actually supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to have drama, but it is also supposed to be fun. And all I'm seeing here is alienation and attacks and character assassinations. It's not drama, it's just ugliness, and I'm not enjoying it personally. So, Slee says, our host is missing, so is her friend. So that's what it's come to. The fracture, you see. The schism. The great divide. The one that I've been predicting for weeks. The host is missing, so is her friend. Nonku and Jojo. And the others. And it happened, as I said, the moment that they all got up and left the swimming pool when Nonku arrived in the helicopter and Jojo ran down to meet her. They all got up and they left. That was when the fracture went whoosh, and I knew that what I'd been predicting had come true. And here's it. We don't even use names anymore. Our host is missing and her friend. Not even names. It's got that ugly. So, Sarisha says Viv would never get up at 3 to come and fetch her or to come all the way to drive her back if she was upset or whatever. And I said, that's why I think Jojo is so lucky to have such a wonderful, adoring and protective husband. Yep. And yeah, Viv probably wouldn't. Jojo's lucky. My husband would. Definitely, if I called him and I was incredibly upset and emotional and felt under attack. So yeah, Jojo's lucky, and maybe Sarisha, you're not so lucky. But of course, you could probably phone somebody who would fly and fetch you and take you home in a helicopter if you did want to leave the Drakensberg. So you probably don't have a problem if you did want to leave. You're just being meh. That's what you're being, meh. So Maria says that Jojo was trying to express the fact that there's a mean girl vibe in the group, and they all go, oh, wow. But Maria is actually right. That is what she was trying to express. Now, let's not forget that when Nonku arrived, they all got up and left. That's what I said before. Mean girls. Very mean girls. So the ladies in Ruan are all sitting there without Nonku and discussing Jojo. They feel she has run away because she can't face the music, and that is quite possibly true. I mean, she's probably just had enough. She did behave badly. She probably thinks, I just don't want to go back and face them. I get it. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be embarrassed. I'd probably be going, you know what? I just can't. I can't. I know I've gone too far. I'm embarrassed. I want to go home. I got over emotional. I get it. She did go over the top. But also, how do you handle 4 or 5 people against one with maybe Nonku backing you up? Because now it is all the rest of them against you. How do you handle that? That's a thing. I get that that's a thing. You know, if she comes down and she goes, look, you know, I'm sorry, I flew off the handle. Oh, hello. Would you like to meet someone beautiful? Come and say hello. Look, there's a little someone beautiful. This is Coca. Bye-bye, Coca. Yeah, so how do you handle that? So Maria starts discussing the way the ladies fight and that they should be role models. And I agree, and I think that's wonderful that she's discussing that. But suddenly, Sane sees her opportunity to rewrite history while Jojo and Nonku aren't there. And she turns on her gaslight power plant. Let's power it up. This is a classic piece of Sane gaslighting. As I said before, we need Eskom to get in touch with her. And boy, oh boy, is she good at this. She says that Jojo was talking about Annie at the time, okay, when they were all together. This is incorrect, as we know. So she says Jojo was the one who was talking about Annie sleeping her way to the top. She rationalizes that she, Sane, was saying that Annie should be proud of being married to Kholo. I have the guru. Yes, I'm sorry if I'm getting this wrong. Yeah, the guru. Kholo. Yes, it's Kholo. I'm sorry if I have to think about this twice or 3 times. Kholo. She says, her rationalization is that she said that Annie had met her husband in a pub and that she should be proud of having met Kholo Daguru. That's it, Daguru. She should be proud of having met Kholo in when she was working as a barmaid there. And she turns it all around to make it seem like she said a good thing. And Sane, you are just a liar. And you know that this is going to come out in the reunion. You know it will. But you're lying for now. These things are all the ladies are going to see what you said before the reunion. And I mean, you're just a barefaced liar. It's just unbelievable. We've all seen you. We all heard you said that Annie was just a lousy PA who slept her way to the top. You, Sunny, said it. So then Sarisha takes Sunny out for a drive. Sarisha, I just cannot believe that you are being so, you're going back on your word. You're now you're suddenly thinking that Sunny can be your ally, and you go for a drive and you say, oh, you just want to clarify what's really going on, and I'm absolutely finished that you're doing this. But I get it, because you now will do anything to bring down those other two. And I mean, what are you up to? So you said you'd never spend time with Sunny. You've been leaving parties to avoid her. And now you're trying to shore up your alliance by spending time with Sunny. Double standards deluxe. So, and then you actually say, I'm spending time with her so I can find, this is the classic, room for Sunny and I to maneuver. Gotcha. See, room for Sunny and I to maneuver. Well, exactly. There's your tactic. It says it all for me, really. So Sunny explains to you then that in fact she did say, she was the one who said Annie was sleeping her way to the top. She says it to you on that trip. And this is going to come back later, Sarisha, because you're going to lie about it later. And we're going to catch you. So Nonku then is on the phone to RD. She says she got water in her eye. As I said, you're lucky it wasn't wine, darling. She's feeling sad and alone. She says she's learning things about Maria. Maria has been saying that Nonku is the bad weed. So at least we now know it's not something that you're smoking. And, or the bad seed. And I find it odd. Apparently it's Sarisha who told Nonku that Maria said that. Because from my vantage point, Sarisha is the one who subtly had it in for Nonku since episode 1, not Maria. But you see, this is Sarisha now sowing more disinformation because it's divide and conquer. That is Sarisha's game plan with everything. Divide and conquer, and make everybody question everyone else. Works perfectly. So when she said to Slee, I said to Sarisha's had it subtly in for Nonku since episode 1, from the moment that she said to Slee that Nonku needed rational friends. That was the very start when you could see trouble afoot. Nonku is planning a confrontation with Maria. Oh dear. I think that is playing straight into Sarisha's hands, because that's a setup, you see. Mm-hmm. So Maria and Ruan are chatting and they're having a picnic, and really all I get from this chat is that Maria doesn't like / is jealous of Nonku. But that is exactly what Sarisha and everyone is designing to happen, the downfall of Nonku. This is what series 3 is all about, the downfall of Nonku. Simple. Then we get to Nonku and Slee. So Slee comes up to meet Nonku at the bar, and all I want to know is, Slee, why don't you leave Nonku alone? You say, I owe you the courtesy to find out where we are in our friendship. And I, Camilla, am gobsmacked. Because this is a joke, Slee. I went back and I had a look. I owe you the courtesy to find out where we are in our friendship. What? So, you first ended the friendship in episode 2. You said to Nonku, our friendship is over. In episode 3, you said Nonku stabs you in the back and your friendship is over. Mm-hmm. And then in episode 4, yes, you were with Slee and you were with Nonku and Jojo, and that was the 3rd time you said. That's when you all got together. Slee, Nonku, Jojo met in the coffee shop and they tried to have a clearing with you and you said, that's it. That is absolutely it. Our friendship is over. I have nothing to say with you. So that's 3 times, Slee. So why are you now saying that you owe her the courtesy to find out where you are in your friendship? Slee? Leave her alone. You've made it abundantly clear that you don't have a friendship with Nonku. So what are you doing there? You're hounding her. You said you're a spiritual being. You've been to your spiritual father about this. And you said that they are bad people to your spiritual father. So why are you reconnecting with this so-called bad person? You are nowhere in your friendship. You said so. It's over. And Nonku, why do you keep on giving Slee 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever chances? It's always you apologizing. You're not the only one playing games and gaslighting here, okay? Just both of you, stop it. Get out of one another's way and leave one another alone. Because by you apologizing and whatever, you're actually buying into the whole thing. Walk away from this. And Slee, stop pretending and going back and pretending somehow that you're Nonku's friend when you're not. Because you're just stirring the pot, and any convincing that you might do that you're some kind of amazing spiritual person is being absolutely broken down by your constant pretensions of friendship with Nonku. It's not true. Stop it. There are no apologies coming forth from Slee, no hugs to make up, and just a sort of cold indifference at the end of this conversation. So why did you bother, Slee? Really? I'm not buying your whole, I'm a spiritual person, I'm an elevated thinker. I'm not buying it. I think you're cold and calculating, actually. That's what I'm getting from you. There, I said it. I said what I said. Right, once again, I don't think this chat is going to make any difference. At this stage, Nonku and Jojo are getting frozen out, and that's the way it's going to be. So, now we move on to dinner. Annie says Jojo lied about saying her room smelt of alcohol and created her own circumstances for leaving. What Annie in fact said was, are you drinking? Are you drinking alone? As I said, that is a very loaded statement. Annie felt that Jojo attacked her. Jojo said she was hurt. She opened by saying she was not coming from a place of meanness. That is how Jojo opened that discussion. I am not coming from a place of meanness, but I would like to say. And then it went pear-shaped. It did. It went pear-shaped. However, to say that she created her own circumstances of leaving is a little bit heavy. But they all have the hates on Jojo right now. Fine, let's move on. Now, Annie asked Nonku what happened at Zai restaurant with Sane and Jojo. Because Sane, remember, has just said that Jojo said the crucial thing at Zai. Sane is gaslighting, and Annie believes it. It's how you came across, says Sane. Now, Annie believes Sane that Jojo said Annie slept her way to the top. Sane, you liar. Annie, you stupid fool for believing it. And the others are choosing to believe Sane because they want to. Why do they want to? Because it suits the agenda, the freezing out agenda of the alliance against the other two, the one that I've seen from the beginning, and it's getting uncomfortable. Why? The question is why? What is the long-term aim of freezing out basically Nonku and by the same token her friend Jojo? Why do they want to annihilate these two? Housewives is not about annihilation. I can't quite get to the bottom of why this is getting so mean. So, this is where it ends. The big lie of Sane, Annie choosing to believe that Jojo said that she was sleeping her way to the top, and it's all getting rather ugly and all rather uncomfortable for me. We shall now move on to episode 9. Lots of love, my angels. See you soon. Oh, and please remember to subscribe, to like, and to comment. If you disagree, that's fine. I've got my big girl panties on. I'm always prepared to engage in lively debate. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.